Hello, welcome to the second section, Constructing a Classifier. In the previous section we dived into supervised learning. This section will take us through building a simple classifier. Video 2.3, building a logistic regression classifier. Video 2.4, building a naive Bayes. Video 2.5, splitting the dataset for training and testing. Video 2.6, evaluating the accuracy using cross-validation. Video 2.7, visualizing the confusion matrix. Video 2.8, evaluating cars based on their characteristics. Video 2.9, extracting validation curves. Video 2.10, extracting learning curves. Video 2.11, estimating the income bracket. Now we move on to the first video of this section that deals with building a simple classifier. In this video we will build a linear classifier that can classify unknown data. We shall first plot different types of points randomly and then classify them using our classifier. Let's see how to build a simple classifier using some training data. We will use the simpleclassifier.py file, assuming that you imported the numpy and matplotlib packages like we did in the last section. Let's create some sample data. So this is the code to create the sample data. So to begin with, assign some labels to these points. As we have only two classes, the Y list contains zeros and ones. In general, if you have n classes, then the values in Y will range from 0 to n minus 1. Let's prepare the data into classes based on the labels. So here is the code to separate the labels. Now to get an idea about our data, let's plot it in this way. This is a scatter plot, where we use squares and crosses to plot the points. In this context, the marker parameter specifies the shape you want to use. Here, use squares to denote points in class 0 and crosses to denote points in class 1. So this is the output we get for this code. Here we just use the mapping between x and y to create two lists. Now, if I ask you to inspect the data points visually and draw a separating line, what would you do? You'll simply draw a line in between them. So let's go ahead and do this. You can see the code to draw a separator line. We just created a line with the mathematical equation y equals x. So let's plot it. These lines will help us plot the line. Finally, let's run this. So now we see the separator line. Nice. What we actually did is, we have built a simple classifier using the rule input point a, b belongs to class 0 if a is greater than or equal to b. Otherwise, it belongs to class 1. If you inspect the points one by one, you'll see that this is in fact true. This is it. You just built a linear classifier that can classify unknown data. It's a linear classifier because the separating line is a straight line. If it's a curve, then it becomes a non-linear classifier. This information worked fine because there were a limited number of points and we could visually inspect them. What if there are thousands of points? How do we generalize this process?